Hey guys, Magic here. When I was a child, all the way up until I was like almost a teenager, most people thought I was mute. I think this muteness as a child was probably due to the forced silence about what I was living in. I was dealing with a lot of trauma and verbal, mental, sometimes physical and sexual abuse as a child, and but yeah, we were told that everything had to be perfect. We had to be happy, perfect, act like everything was okay. Like you weren't allowed to show emotion, um, unless it was like appropriate for that image of everything is fine. Um, you weren't allowed to talk about it. Those things just didn't happen, basically. And so, since I wasn't allowed to express how I felt about it at all, wasn't allowed to cry, wasn't allowed to be upset, wasn't allowed to talk, um, I kind of just feel like I just shut down. I wasn't allowed to express it in any way or speak of it. So I couldn't get those things out of my system. So instead, it was like my brain shut down to protect me. Um, when I did find my voice when I was about almost 15, I was like 14, 15 years old, I became very depressed. When I was 14, I got really anxious, but when I was 15, I developed severe depression. I became very angry because I was still forced to be silent about it, about everything that was happening, even though I just had my first abusive boyfriend. I tried to confide in someone and they turned on me, so I just learned that that was a bad idea and I had to keep it to myself, which made me even angrier and more depressed. Um, and then as I got older and things happened like the kidnapping and miscarriage and stuff, this led to me becoming self harmful. Um, at first, it started with minor things like I'd be like, oh, well, this item isn't supposed to be able to cause me harm, so therefore it'll be okay. And I would do things like that over and over again. And then eventually it escalated to things that could harm me because I convinced myself that they couldn't. Um, I'm much better now at that. I don't do that anymore. But there was a period of my time in which I did. Um, so I think sometimes that my language issues, like my stutter or my mixing up of letters or my inability to comprehend language randomly when my brain misfires or whatever, isn't so much because of like maybe a neurological issue. Maybe it's a trauma issue. Because trauma can cause a lot of issues in the brain. And whenever I'm under a lot of stress, especially extreme mental duress and stress, which is caused by my traumas and by my PTSD, my language centers tend to mess up more than they would usually do. I start to stutter. I start to lose my ability to talk or to be able to formulate the words. Um, and when I try, I just stutter a lot, and my words come out all jumbled, and so sentences don't always make sense. Apparently, that is very common in very traumatized people. Um, I think part of the reason why I haven't really dealt with the trauma is because at some point I just started having to use all my energy just to get through my day. Because I don't, like I told one of my coworkers once when they asked, I said, I don't think anyone actually truly understands how much mental strain and how much mental energy it takes to fight this constant war in my brain. I feel like I'm just standing on this ledge, and any second I'm going to fall, and there's no ground for me to back up onto, nothing. I'm just on this ledge, and it's the only ground available, and at any second it could crumble or I could fall, and I'm constantly having to fight to just stay on it, and I'm just like a moment away from breaking, and I'm constantly having to fight that war to not break apart. And I don't think anyone realizes how mentally taxing that is, especially because of how much physical pain I'm in a lot too. The physical pain makes it worse because then I gotta fight to not respond to that or fight to get pushed through that as well as fight the mental stuff. So, but I am trying to deal with it now. I have a daily practice now. I'm going through this program to try to heal. So, hopefully, we will get there. So, go. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to share with you. Go out and spread the love because love always wins.